I should not be hearing music.
I hear it too. Is that on my end?
Is that in-game music? Is that a record?
I turned my in-game music down, but let me.
Oh, somebody's got a record player in-game. No, that's what it is. It's a record player in-game. It really startled me because I just said there's no music on the stream because I don't want a copyright hit. And then I click go live. So, yay, welcome to the intro. It's professional as always. Howdy, y'all. Joe Hills here, recording as I always do in Nashville, Tennessee. And I am joined by a special guest, Hot Nudge, Rebecca.
Hi everyone.
Welcome. I know that you love Halloween. Can you talk a little bit just about some of the crafty things that you've done? I mean, we'll have time for full stories over the course, but just to give a quick overview of what makes you well enthused to judge a Halloween build contest.
I will be 100% honest. I am not as familiar with Minecraft, so I'm super excited to kind of see what everybody can come up with. I am kind of fresh eyes for everything. But in terms of Halloween, this is, of course, my favorite time of year. I mostly build my own costumes. So that's kind of my build experience, I guess. I'm currently working on a pinball-related costume, my first ever full EVA foam armor build. So super excited.
Ooh, that sounds pretty awesome. And people who are looking forward to seeing how that turns out, is that going to be unveiled at the Chicago Pinball Expo at the end of the month?
Yeah. I'll obviously, so I tend to keep the costume build process a bit under wraps because I kind of like the surprise reveal. But I will be trying to take some in-process pictures and be posting on our Instagram as well. But yeah, the debut will be at the Pinball Expo, which is in Chicago the weekend of Halloween. And there will be a costume contest on Saturday evening. So that's kind of what I'm aiming for. And fingers crossed it gets done by then.
Well, good luck to you finishing that. You know, people here are going to be built in under a little bit of time constraints too. What we have here is a street. Basically, we had a big contest early on in the server where people built different kind of downtown districts or villages or whatever with big, long streets. And whoever built basically the best streets got to host parades. And these folks here are going to be hosting the Halloween parade. They've got a few kind of spooky decorative builds around the parade route. And we've got our competitors lined up here ready to start. So if you've never seen a parade before, for some of y'all in the international audience, the way it works is in real life, crews of people would build these giant kind of moving sculptures on flatbed trailers, which then get towed down the street. And, you know, they sit on the sculptures and they wave at everybody. And those towed flatbed sculptures are called parade floats. And so basically everybody here is going to be building their own parade floats for a Halloween parade. They've got an hour to do the build. And as they build, Rebecca and I are going to be chatting. We're going to be visiting the different areas and seeing the works in progress. This is a survival mode build contest. So much like in a real parade where the crews would prepare the floats in advance, folks have had time to, in their own little Minecraft garages, pre-build mock-ups of what they're going to have to rebuild here. So hopefully they already brought all the materials they're going to need, because otherwise they're going to have to frantically go run around the server and harvest things. So yeah, that'll be an interesting challenge. We might be following some of them as they do that if need be.
I'm here for all the frantic Minecraft. Speaking as somebody that builds my own things in real life, there's definitely a frantic nature to, oh my gosh, it needs to be done right now, and I ran out of contact cement, or oh my gosh, I don't have the right scissors for this, and then running to Home Depot to get what you need. So we might see a few of that in here. It depends on how prepared people are, I guess.
Yeah, and that's part of the joy of the spectator mode that we're in, is if we see somebody frantically running away, we can just kind of follow them. It's like, you don't get to hide your shame. We're going to enjoy this. So anyway, competitors, hopefully y'all are all ready to go. If you want to go ahead, just go ahead and claim a little rectangle here. It looks like these Celtic knots. Two of these makes one kind of area here. Guy Eagle says we were supposed to prepare. Yeah, you better have prepared, or you're gonna be going. So yeah, go ahead and just grab a spot where no one is currently set up, and we are gonna start. Dahlia didn't prepare. Well, Dahlia, you're gonna have an hour to go grab stuff, and that's gonna be part of the fun, I guess. So yeah, there should be ender chests and things. Well, there is one ender chest over here. Hopefully, if you didn't bring one, you're going to have time to get one or find one. So let's see. Talas just says, I didn't even sign up. I'm just here to observe live. Yeah, you can observe. Just don't interfere with anybody's builds. So it looks like we've got folks in their lanes. We should have about... I think we've got about 17 competitors or so, and I know some folks are teaming up, so that might be about 10 floats that we're going to be observing. Are we facing east? Oh, that's a great question. What direction is the parade going in? I was assuming the parade was going in toward the city. So there's like a... Yeah, y'all can't see where I am. So I'm going to switch over to creative mode, because when I'm flying around in spectator mode, you can't see me. So I'm here. Basically, you're going to be building toward this turn with the copper roof. I'm facing west. Yeah, I'm facing west, so you should be building toward the east, right? Okay, whoever is trying to claim Melora's spot, there's more spots up here that you could do. But yeah, there's plenty of spots. We've got, like, it continues well toward this pink and purple beacon here. So, yeah, generally be building toward that purple beacon, and you're good. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and get that clock started. I say that like I have a clock. Let me open my watch to the alarm app, and nope, I want the countdown app. Yay, the timers is what it's called. Going to put 1 hour on the clock, and go! Everybody frantically start building. Rebecca, if you can excuse me for one moment as folks start to frantically build, before we get too much into our conversation, I did want to acknowledge that I got a tip just as I ended my last stream, and I always like to thank people who send in tips and support the show. Can you give me a second to acknowledge that?
Of course, of course. Tips are much appreciated.
Wonderful. Yes, we got a $50 tip from Daniel. Incredibly generous. Thank you so much. And the note on that just simply says, life. Well, I'm glad that we can celebrate life and death here in Minecraft. A little bit of the border between the two. Now, Rebecca, if you've never seen one of my streams before, do you know, like, I might have warned you they get a little weird, right?
I love weird streams. So you didn't warn me, but
okay, I didn't. I might have mentioned. I might have mentioned sometimes when you shout me out on your stream when I do the raid, I'm like, don't tell people to watch my streams; they're too weird. But anyway, so I have an abacus that I use to keep track of the tips. So there we go. There's the 50. But the reason I need that is so I can keep track of when the camera gets bigger. Basically, the face camera gets bigger every time we hit a tipping milestone. We're currently on $20 milestone, so the camera's about to get bigger twice. So here you go. And for anybody who's never seen one of my streams before, you might appreciate this. It's a little bit weird, but it's a lot of fun. Here we go. It's time to expand. And as the camera gets bigger, the opacity also lowers. We're now at 70% opacity. And you might think, that's kind of a big camera. Well, here's the thing. Daniel actually got us through 2 tips, or 2 milestones. So here we go. Grow hills. This is the most obnoxious face camera size. We call this the Tony Stark helmet cam. And if we want to get really cute with it, we can do little Tony Stark like altimeters and stuff over here. Little targeting things, like woo, draw some circles. I've also got a tablet here that I can draw on and add little... things.
You can open your mouth and start eating all the builders that are building their...
Okay, yeah, we just ate all those extra things there. And we are currently 5 away from the next face camera expansion. Everybody who has tipped up to this point has been doing so to make the camera harder to see through. But beyond this point, it can't get any bigger, but it will keep getting more transparent. I mean, it will get bigger, but it can't fill more of the screen. I mean, I wore this whole David Pumpkins suit, and you can barely see it. But, that's fine. I even, you know what, let me step back a second. I even wore the trousers, which I don't do on stream very often. But, this is a special occasion for Halloween.
You look fabulous, fabulous.
Thank you, yeah. Do a little twirl here. You really, I don't have enough space in this room or enough cable on my microphone. But, yeah, there we go. Got the green screen shirt and tie as well. But, yeah. So we've got folks getting started on their builds. We're going to go poke in with them. How are you finding the flying controls, Rebecca?
I am very green here. So I'm actually kind of just watching your stream and seeing through your eyes right now currently.
Oh, yeah, the best way to experience this is through my eyes. I've had people ask me
since your eyes are so big right now.
Oh, yeah, believe me, they're only going to get bigger because Havard Nestia just tipped 6, which, well, actually, like 50 Norwegian kroners, which is about 6 U.S. abacus beads. That puts us one past our next milestone expansion target. So here we go. It's time to expand. Just do. Now, I don't know if you're familiar with The Great Gatsby, Rebecca, but we call this face camera size T. Joe Eckhillsburg because I'm just these giant floating eyes above this ruined landscape. But yeah, so here we go. Folks are getting started. Wow, let's see who this is down here.
It actually reminds me also, there's a scene in Bram Stoker's Dracula. As you know, I've rented the pinball machine.
Oh, yeah.
And there's a scene where he's kind of in the sky, sort of watching as things are happening. And it looks very much like what you look like now.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. Like, I try to do weird things on my stream to keep the viewer numbers down, because otherwise I wouldn't be able to read the chat. It would move too fast. So people are like, oh, if I do this, will my stream get bigger? I'm like, your face will get bigger, but I can't promise you it's going to help your stats. So let's see.
We'll be able to explore whether or not you have any bats in your cave pretty soon here.
Oh, yeah. Well, one thing I can do, though, is I just got this new tablet set up. So if we want bats, I can actually draw bats. Not well, because I'm not an artist. Wow, these are not bats at all. Wow, yeah. This is... You're going to see this on a 15-second delay, but wow, yeah, this is a terrible bat. It looks like kind of like it's like a silhouette of a Butterfree from Pokemon. Sorry to everybody who worked hard making bats. Mostly bat mothers, I guess. But, yeah, if I do it kind of like a Batman thing, and we get the body in, and then it comes up, and then out, that's kind of closer to a bat. And then we go...
That's pretty good. That's pretty good.
Yeah, I'm trying, not particularly hard, but oh look, it's like I got a little face paint bat here. Now the fun thing too is I can move it around. Like, the problem is that'll also get rid of the @hot nudge Rebecca. I could put that on a separate layer. No, wait, no, I can't because it'll move the whole canvas. Anyway, but yeah, I got into this because I was like, oh, I want to find the perfect font for when I have like things like guest names or setting up the stream. And then I was like, I like these handwriting fonts, but maybe I should just make my own. And I was like, nah, I'll just scroll on top of the screen whenever I want. No font making required. But yeah.
Making a font is a pain in the butt because it's all the kerning and all that stuff you have to deal with. And just writing it out is personal. So.
Indeed. Yeah, I picked up a great book on lettering by Nate Pecos of Blambot the other day. You have some graphic design experience in your professional life, I believe, right?
I do a little bit. I mostly kind of learned as I go. I don't use a lot of the vector tools. When I make my overlays for my stream, it's 100% done in Photoshop, which is probably the slow and silly way of doing it. But, you get used to one way and then you're like, I don't really want to learn anything else. Curmudgeon-y.
Well, I gotta say, though, those overlays that you work on for your streams are absolutely eye-catching and just visually brilliant. Like, I am so inspired by how hard the pinball community works to make their streams look good, because shooting pinball, like, or filming pinball in general is difficult, because it's high speed objects in low light environments. And then you're going in there and you're like, okay, we got 5 cameras and we're going to draw hand drawn overlays on top of it. It's like just absolutely inspiring, the effort y'all put
Oh,
in.
thank you so much. The overlay thing is just my kind of weird insanity. Most every other streamers kind of just have a very simple setup that they use over and over again.
Hmm.
But the artwork of pinball is just one of my favorite things that I love about it.
Hmm.
So I really wanted to incorporate a lot of that creativity into the stream overlays. And it's been super fun. I've basically learned how to make really complex animated GIFs because you want to keep them somewhat small so that it doesn't create any issues with your stream and
Hmm.
lagging and all that stuff. So it's been super fun, and especially when you can find something and make it kind of cheeky or funny. Or I like to do mashups where it's not exactly what you expect. And every time I make a new one, it gets harder and harder, which, of course it does.
It's good you're challenging yourself, though, you know? Like,
Yeah, I mean, I guess I just, sometimes every once in a while you'll sort of get struck by like divine, like it feels like divine intervention.
mhm.
You'll be trying to think of what to do, and then all of a sudden you'll get this kooky idea, and it just all comes together. And I'm wondering if the Minecraft builders probably have a similar feeling sometimes when they build things. It's just like, wow, like I didn't think of doing it this way, and now everything is working out perfectly.
Mhm.
So that happens every once in a while, but it doesn't happen every time, and sometimes it can be a real. They're not all winners, but you gotta have something to go live, right?
Oh yeah. Well, and that's something too that's like, I'll pop over there and y'all are like playing Walking Dead again, but it's a new animation or new overlay for the same game, or a new Dracula setup. Like that one with the coffin the other day. It's just like, "Oh, this is
Yeah,
great."
yeah. Well, because we tend to choose what kind of we kind of play fast and loose about what we're going to be streaming, and we
Mhm.
do like to travel to different locations. So sometimes I only have a couple of days where it's like, oh, hey, let's play this game. And I'll pull together an overlay that works for that stream. But as I'm sitting there while we're playing and having a good time, I'll get this thought where I'm like, oh, I should have done it like this, or there should be a fix. And so I will like fix it. And some overlays will have like 5 or 6 different iterations. Our Google Drive filled with our overlays is kind of a mess.
Mhm. Oh, I'm sure. Like, yeah, but it's such a great distinctive differentiator. Um, like y'all are going out there and you're having fun, and and you're
Oh my gosh, it's super fun. And shout out to Anna and Jane for letting me just do my thing. They've never pushed back or had any problems with any of the weird stuff I do, which is just awesome to have stream partners that kind of let you be your weird self. I think it's
Mhm.
great.
Yeah, and just for the record, Anna and Jane were invited to this. They were unable to attend, but I'm not playing favorites here.
That's true. Actually, Anna and Jane are both playing in a pinball tournament
Mhm.
right now in Wisconsin. And last I checked, they were doing pretty well.
That's
But it's
awesome.
quite a big tournament, over 100 players, and it's 6 tournaments across 4 days. So they have
Mhm.
been playing pinball for hours and hours and hours. So good luck to them. And they're here in spirit, of course.
Of course, and yeah, they're great, and it's so fun to be part of like a creative team. Like, even though with my stream I'm the only one usually talking, like I play on a Minecraft server, kind of like this one, where this one has maybe more players, but it's like a shared world, and my friends and I'll occasionally hop on voice together and record YouTube videos together, and it makes a huge difference when you're being creative with other fun and creative people, and not just like in a vacuum solo.
For sure, for sure. And I've definitely done some streams by myself, and having a really great interactive chat is really helpful.
Hmm.
But I also really commend streamers that stream alone, because it is, you are kind of talking to yourself in a strange way in your house,
Hmm.
and you have to really rely on your community to kind of help create some sort of social atmosphere. And it's tricky. It's not always the easiest thing to do, especially if you're first starting out.
Mhm.
Um, where you don't might not have quite a community set up, so you're just kind of chatting into the ether for a little while.
Oh, definitely. And when I first started streaming, it was back in 2008. So I've been doing this a while, but we couldn't run video games and streaming software on the same computer back then. So I was mostly streaming myself in Adobe Illustrator, drawing comics and hanging out with the people in chat were people I had met at conventions who, that was kind of how we kept up throughout the year. But it was like the same 4 or 5 people, popping in throughout the
Yeah.
week for 3, 4 years, and over time, as my YouTube stuff took off, obviously that grew. But like, yeah, when you get started in streaming, a lot of it is if you're doing something that you wanted to do anyway, even if no one shows up in the moment, it's like, well, it would be nice to have company while I did this, but I'm doing what I wanted to do, and I'm having fun doing it, so no big
For
loss.
sure, for sure. Well, I'm loving these builds so far. There's lots of variety of what people are coming up with. I see that there's some that are kind of going vertical, just going higher and higher. We've
Mhm.
got these lots of really cool things shaping up. It's shaping up, kids.
Yeah, I gotta say, I like the big wheels on this one. This is a really interesting way to do spokes. One of the weird things about Minecraft is there's all these blocks that are designed to do one thing. Like these are technically repair and disenchanting stations, but they've been turned into these wild wheel spokes here. And I didn't even know you could place these at angles like this. I thought they could only go straight up and down, but apparently you can do them at different ways. I'm learning stuff.
That's awesome. It looks great. I can't wait to see where it goes from here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's just incredibly. I love the big scale on those wheels too. It feels fun. Then this one over here, we've got like actual axles and like a chassis bar. I don't know the car words for this, but yeah, people are actually building these like trailers in some cases. Um, this one over here, I'm guessing this is going to be a ghost or a spectral bride. Who knows? Um, Now, picking a corner plot, that's very bold. I'm wondering if it's going to partially turn the corner or how that's going to go.
Ooh, that might be kind of interesting. And yeah, I have no idea what that's going to be, but I can't wait to see it.
Yeah. So I will
This
say,
glowing, interesting. I'm wondering what this is gonna be. This like cool disco floor that they got going on here.
yeah, it's going to be something, I'm sure. But yeah, I couldn't even begin to speculate because, there's a few things you can do with a floor like this. So I guess I will begin to speculate. You can put carpet blocks on top of these and it'll glow through the colorful carpet. You could do colorful glass and like I said, and like you said, kind of have a disco tech effect. I mean, yeah, there's a lot of options with that backlighting there.
Very nice, very nice.
And then I don't think anybody's building there, but I think this is our forwardmost float. We've got some sort of hot tub thing going on in here. Wait, no, this is... I don't know what this is. What is this? This is an incredibly elaborate delivery mechanism for monsters. Apparently, there have been monsters that have been queued up down here.
Ooh, somebody planned. Somebody planned some stuff.
Somebody planned ahead. I told them they couldn't pick their plots in advance, so I'm guessing they put this in the general area and then just completed that little shaft there. Because this was not here earlier. That's why there's just these blocks lying around on the ground. So they extended this to wherever their plot they wanted would be, and then are gonna push those monsters in the mine carts up this. This is called a bubble column. The rising bubbles will lift the monsters to the surface. Now they're
Very
covering it up so
cool.
that nobody else finds it. But sorry, Sean.
Did we give it away?
No, I'm sure it'll look great. But this is part of the fun. But yeah, Superstone and Sean definitely trying to go below and beyond here. So curious to see how all of this turns out.
So
Yeah.
now, are they teams of people that are building together, or is it just individuals?
Teams are allowed, but individuals are allowed too. It's like this is not a super rigid competition. This is more of a friendly get together type thing, a chance for the community to come together and show off type of thing. And so some folks, it's like all art. Some folks like to work together as a team. Some folks like to present like their unique vision. Um, but with only an hour to build, it is easier to go bigger scale with
Sure,
with
sure.
more people.
What's the time frame that we've got going so far?
Okay, according to my watch, we have 42 minutes remaining. Which, if I wanted to get really aggressive here with the tablet, I could be over here writing like 41, 59, 57, 56. Just keep hitting the undo button and drawing a new. Oh, that's harder for the numbers that have two strokes because I gotta hit undo
That
twice.
is a lot of work on your end too.
Yeah, this is why they don't normally animate things live. So 47, 46, 45. Yeah, I don't think we're going to do this for 41 minutes and 44 seconds.
No, but I feel like an update of like, okay, 30-minute, like a 30-minute mark
Yeah,
and a 15-minute mark to kind of see, so they know. I'm sure they also know how much time they have.
Yeah. Some people are saying, oh no, I never set an alarm. Well, yep, that's how it is sometimes.
So I'm actually curious about the prep of this because, like, do you ever watch the Great British Baking Show?
No.
And they have, they obviously have the challenges and everything, but when they are able to plan their recipes,
Mhm.
You can kind of tell when there's somebody that prepared where they're like, oh, I made this at home and I timed myself and I made sure that I could do it.
Mhm.
And then there's other people that are just like, yeah, we're just gonna just see if we could do it live. We'll do it live. We'll do it live.
Yeah, it's a great attitude to have. I do things live all the time. But hey, Tracy from Outer Spacey, do watch the all caps, please. I'm not going to time you out because I know you're not a bad actor, but I don't want you setting a bad example for the kids because they're going to see those caps and be like, what? Can we do that now?
Hey, Tracy.
But yeah, welcome, Tracy. Rebecca is here on voice. We are judging. Well, we're not judging yet. We're avoiding being judgmental, so we can just offload all that at the end. We're viewing the building process. But to answer your question, Rebecca, I did encourage folks to try to pre-build stuff and to try and have the supplies that they were going to need ready. But no, I'm glad you're excited, Tracy. And like I said, I know you're not a bad actor, but sometimes when the younger audience sees people breaking the rules and getting by with it because I know them, then they're like, "Ooh, can I get by with it?" And I'm like, "No, you are a child. You must learn." Oh, I wonder if this one's gonna be a spider. It's got kind of like a weird head here. There's room for mandibles, so I don't know. But yeah, so some people probably did pre-build. I know at least Dahlia said that they had nothing prepared. So, that's okay. Improv is fine. You have a whole hour. This is they're putting a lot of effort into the bed of this trailer, which I really appreciate. That's really cool. And this is part of why I wanted to do a parade float contest and not just a generic like Halloween build contest, to kind of give things a sense of reality, even though obviously it's Minecraft, so none of this mechanically functions or whatever. It still does create kind of a weird grounded feel. Hey, welcome, Code Universe.
The parade thing is super cool. Plus, it's like a little bit showier, and it's kind of this, it's pomp and circumstance, right?
Mm-hmm. And the idea is that all of the different downtown districts that competed in that contest at the beginning of the year are going to get to host a different holiday parade. First place got first choice of holidays. Halloween was obviously a top tier choice, but there's going to be like a Christmas parade and a few others. A Groundhog Day parade, which I've never seen one of those before, but I'm sure we'll be seeing those again and again. But yeah,
I'm curious to see what they would do on Groundhog Day. Like, would they do the same thing and repeat it over and over and over again, like the Bill Murray movie?
Yeah, I'm guessing that's the joke. But you could do the big clock. You could do a giant like head of Ned Ryerson. Like sometimes giant paper mache heads of politicians with dumb faces are big in the like Mardi Gras parades. Have you gotten down to Mardi Gras?
I have never been to Mardi Gras, and it's kind of a bummer because I had a good friend of mine that lived in New Orleans for a long time,
Mm-hmm.
and there would be like a whole group of people that would go out for Mardi Gras every year or so, and I just didn't. So I think it was when I was living in San Francisco, and I was pretty broke and couldn't
Mm-hmm.
really go and visit. So I haven't gotten out there yet, but I would love to go. I feel like it would be such an amazing experience, just to not only from like a having a good time party perspective, but just to see what people come up with, the costumes that they make, and just the amazing craftsmanship, so to speak, I guess.
Yeah, it's an incredible collaborative artistic
Oh, it's
experience.
raining. Does the rain affect the builds at all?
Well, I'm gonna turn it off because it affects the video quality because the encoder hates the falling rain. Um, but no, it wouldn't affect the builds directly. It's raining on our parade. I'm gonna actually disable weather because I am in charge of the server, so I can do things like that. So game
So not
rule.
only are your eyes like overlooking this entire world, but now you can control the weather. This is like a very like Truman Show-esque Minecraft experience that we're dealing with right now.
Oh yeah, yeah, and it gets really Old Testament around here too. Once a month, I hear petitions from people on the server to kind of keep friction low between the different people who play on here. So if somebody's like, "Hey, they built too close to me" or whatever, and then I can use my server admin god powers to like mess with whatever the complaint is or
Oh
adjudicate
wow.
it. And
Does it have your hands come out and you like lift their build and move it like
I haven't had to do that. It wouldn't actually show my hands, but there are like certain commands that you can do to like move mountain type things. But yeah, so I stream that once a month too. But yeah, usually that's just weird and wild. Like somebody's complaining like, oh, so and so killed the dragon. I wanted to kill the dragon. I'm like, here's a free dragon for everybody, and then spawn in a dragon. And you don't generally want a dragon on top of you in Minecraft. So that's sort of good-hearted fun. Lighthearted.
you're a benevolent Minecraft god.
Yeah,
Yes.
I try to be. But yeah, so we have a lot of fun with this sort of thing. But yeah, back to Mardi Gras though. Yeah, I really recommend if you get the chance. One thing to keep in mind from a budget standpoint is they do like a whole month of parades leading up to Fat Tuesday. And so even if you get down there like 2 weeks before Mardi Gras or 2 weekends before Mardi Gras proper, flights aren't as expensive, hotels aren't as expensive, but you still get to see some incredibly talented and creative people showing off their work. That might be a way to kind of get down there and kind of avoid the rush. Usually
Sure,
when I've
sure.
gone, that's kind of how I've had to do it because, yeah, money. Woo.
I also, I get a little twitchy in really big crowds before
Hmm.
COVID, and then after COVID, I would get incredibly more twitchy around really big crowds.
Yeah.
I have definitely been to New Orleans, and the famous Bourbon Street was actually the last place that I went.
Hmm.
We went over to Bourbon Street, and it smelled like barf all the time. So
Yeah.
uh, we just started to check out other places. I love like the old parts of the city,
Hmm.
and just kind of exploring a little bit. But I was, of course, there for work, so there's only so much you can do when you're there for dumb, stupid work stuff.
Yeah, I mean, like I've been to Bourbon Street and it's fine. It's good at being what it is, but I'm not super interested in that myself. Like, the whole city is full of great restaurants and bars though, and so you can go places and avoid the crowds. And with the parade routes too, these are like 3-4 mile long routes in some cases. So it's not like, when you're on Bourbon Street and everybody's crammed into one mob, everybody is, standing along a huge linear path. Another
Sure,
thing you
sure.
can do is you can try to rent an Airbnb or a hotel that overlooks the parade route and then just hang out on your balcony. And
Ah, yes, but then you would, be I'm assuming that people would assume that you would be flashing people for the beads, right? Or are
from the
the
balcony,
balcony people the bead droppers,
some
right?
sometimes, well, that's more of a Bourbon Street thing, I think, than along the parade routes. But
Oh,
I'm
okay.
I'm not too familiar with that side of the New Orleans culture myself, having participated on neither side of that element. But yeah, I mean, you can, if you want to look at parade stuff without being surrounded by people, get some folks to go in together on an Airbnb around the route, and you'll be set.
Yeah, I feel like Carnival would be super cool to check out too.
Well, that's all the way down in Brazil, though, right?
Yeah, yeah.
I've never been to Rio. I've been to Canada. That's the extent of my international travel. Although I'm hoping
It's probably a little bit different than Rio, I would assume.
yeah, just slightly different culture. But yeah, I was hoping to go to Ireland for a wedding last year, but because of COVID restrictions, that got postponed. Well, I think the people still got married, but like me going to Ireland didn't happen. But yeah, I'm hoping once things get better to do some more travel, but we'll have to see. But yeah, Carnival, from what I've seen in media, looks great.
Yeah, most of my experience with Carnival and costumes is because of Rihanna, because she wears these amazing Carnival costumes, and I'm just like, just flabbergasted from a costume perspective of like building them would be amazing. And so I would just want to go just to see all of the feathers and the sequins and the build quality of the costumes.
Yeah, it seems like it would be like, I mean, they do a good job of making it look cool in media, but like to see it in person is always so much more vivid and real. And like, it's easy to kind of forget that sometimes, like being stuck in our apartments all year. Like I went on a roller coaster for the first time not the first time. I've been on roller coasters before, but like, with COVID kind of starting to let up and getting double vaccinated, I had a chance to ride on a roller coaster in last May for the first time in years. And I was just like, I've been on roller coasters before, but I had forgotten how different it is to accelerate. Like I've been playing video games in my apartment for 12 months and barely even driving a car, let alone like going to 72 miles an hour on this roller coaster. It's like,
oh my gosh, yeah, for real. And it is interesting because we were all sort of hermited up for so long. I do remember when vaccinations came and then we were able to kind of open up slightly, somewhat safely to different places, how like just being around a group of like 3 or 4 people and having a conversation, I was giddy. Like it was just like, oh my gosh, I forgot what it's like to just like socialize and laugh and like chat in person, because it's a little different when it's virtual. But I have not yet gone on a roller coaster after COVID. A friend of mine had just posted some pictures of him going to Cedar Point, and I was so jealous because that Cedar Point's in Sandusky, Ohio, and it has some of the best roller coasters in the world. I mean, it's just amazing.
Yeah, like when you get the chance, I hope you do it, because it really kind of helped kind of shake me out of this kind of COVID malaise, where it's like trying to, just do something different because so much has been feeling the same for so long.
Sure.
It's very experiential, I guess.
Well, there's a Six Flags not far from me, so I can check it out. I mean, like Six Flags isn't going to be as good as Cedar Point, but I love roller coasters. I can't do the spinny rides. The spinny rides, I'm an old lady, so when I do the spinny rides, I get a little like woozy. But I will ride roller coasters, man. And my favorite are the wood coasters, even though I know they hurt your bones. I just love the clankiness of them, and they have to sort of rely on those tight turns and those little dips to kind of really build your adrenaline. Some of the metal coasters they're almost like too intense. Like I don't need the highest drop. I just want a long, fun, exciting ride.
Yeah, no, I get it. Sorry, we missed the 30-minute mark. We are 28 minutes away.
Ooh,
from
28 minutes.
So
28
that's
minutes.
roughly halfway warning. But yeah, you're absolutely right about the wooden coasters. Like those little dips, so like you can just do, it turns out you can do a lot with a few foot drop if you're going 45 to 50 miles an hour.
Oh my gosh. And then like, especially if you get the ones that were like slightly older and they're like, the other thing where they have like sort of the bar that goes across your stomach, like your waist, but
Mm-hmm.
it doesn't feel like you're very tight, so that when you go over the dips, your like whole body sort of lifts up slightly, and you're usually sitting next to somebody, and you like slam into the side of them when you go on the right turn, and slam into the side of them when you go to a left turn, and it's so much fun. And it's like I usually am like just crying with laughter the whole time, like just my face hurts after riding a few roller coasters, because I'm just like like a maniacal laugh the whole time, I swear.
Yeah, I've thought about it, and like working at a theme park as my like post-retirement job would be just kind of fun. Like, it seems like the people who are like doing the announcements and stuff on the roller coasters, they get to kind of be silly and, tell some jokes and whatnot here or there. Because like I don't think I could ever like truly retire and be idle. But like I love the idea of just cracking jokes. Like I got on this one coaster and they were the announcer was like, everybody, welcome to the whatever coaster. Please keep your hands and feet inside. You'll note that this is the bluest roller coaster in the entire park because it's the only one painted blue. And it's like, it's just like, yeah, that's true. It is the bluest
Little
roller
things,
coaster.
I mean, if you're saying the same things over and over again, I mean, I obviously working at a roller coaster park I can only imagine the kind of experiences that you're going to have with just working with people in general. There's always going to be a Karen. There's always going to be
Mm-hmm.
somebody that has problems. But for the most part, everybody should be in pretty good spirits. So, whatever you want to do to kind of make things fun. So,
Yeah.
looks like Tracy says she likes to dangle her legs. She likes dangling leg coasters.
I'm always
There used
terrified I'm
to
going to
be a
lose a
coaster.
shoe.
Oh, that's true. You could lose a
Like,
shoe.
it builds
And I'm
real
lucky
fear.
enough I don't wear glasses, so I don't have to worry about losing my glasses either.
Yeah, I tried riding a roller coaster with like a glasses like holder, like a band that goes around them, and I did one round of one coaster, and the problem was I could feel the air getting behind the glasses at one point and pulling them forward, which would like slip them out of the band if it got strong enough. And I was just like, nope, I'm just gonna keep being blind on these things.
Oh my
Um,
gosh, that would be so terrifying to like feel like you're going to lose your glasses.
yeah.
And that's how people, when you hear about serious injuries at roller coaster parks, it's because, I think there was one story, and I don't want to be too, morbid or anything,
Oh
but it was
no.
basically because somebody lost their hat and climbed over the fence to grab their hat
Oh no. Yeah, never do that.
while the coaster was going, and I don't
Yeah, we
think
don't
that
need to
they
say
are
what
with us
happened. It's
anymore. I mean,
presumably
that's just
terrible.
horrible.
Yeah. Ugh.
There was another coaster, I think, at Six Flags that was because that Six Flags, they're like, they don't have like real licensing. Like, I always think it's
Mhm.
funny when you go to roller coaster parks and they have like Bugs Bunny, they have like Warner Brothers
I thought
licensing
Six Flags
or like
used to have
sort of
Warner
strange
Brothers,
stuff.
didn't it?
What now?
I thought Six Flags used to be the Looney Tunes park.
I think so, but they also had a few DC stuff. Like, I think they used to have a Superman ride, and that one was where they like you like sort of lay like
Hmm.
that you get in a position where you're standing, and then the entire coaster sort of moves, so it's like you're Superman with your hand forward, just like kind of flying. And that was a real weird one, I think.
Yeah, I haven't ridden that one. There was a Riddler ride at Six Flags over Georgia that I rode when I was like in high school in like 2004. So yeah, I know they definitely had a DC license then, but who knows? Maybe they've renamed it to like the Rattler or something since then.
Well, or the ones where they get like really creative, like where it's, I think there's one at Cedar Point that's called Valraven, but it's
Hmm.
very like Harry Potter esque feeling to me. Like it has a
Hmm.
very sort of like magical realm kind of thing. Or actually, no, I think Valraven was more like a Game of Thrones style, like where
Oh,
it's like medieval and there's dragons and ooh, it's spooky, but like it's not anything. It's called Valraven. So
yeah. No, that's cool.
ooh, these builds are shaping up. This build is almost looks like a little propeller hat or something. I'm trying to
Yeah.
figure out what
Is it? Yeah, you're right. I
they're
think that's a
pulling off
propeller
here.
beanie on the ghost there. Very interesting.
Ooh, we got some checkered blocks, some yellow and black checkered blocks.
Yeah, I was thinking at first that this was going to be a bumblebee, but you know
Oh,
what?
it's
It's
a
a
monster's
Ghostbusters,
trap. Oh my god,
and
that's
that's what the
awesome.
beams coming up and out are. Yeah. Oh, that's so cool.
Wow, that's
Oh
great.
no, I'm getting sucked in. I shouldn't have been a ghost. Ah! Oh wait, I actually can fall through it because I'm in spectator mode. Whoops.
And now we're underneath it.
Yeah, and that's where the trap takes you. It's way down there. Oh yeah, yeah. Also, for anybody who is just joining us, I am joined by special guest Hot Nudge's Rebecca. So you can find her on Twitter and Twitch as at Hot Nudge. You don't have your own channel
Yep.
that you really use for anything, right?
No, I mean I have my own personal channel that I when I pop onto other streams I chat on just
Mm-hmm.
because since there's two of us, usually if you see Hot Nudge on a channel, it is my stream partner Anna.
Mm-hmm.
And then I myself will pop on a channel under Hot Links Hins. So it's a little less confusing when you're chatting with somebody on a stream and you're like, are you Anna or are you Rebecca? But yeah, we stream under Hot Nudge, and Joe, you've always been such an awesome supporter of our stream. We love seeing Joe Hill's raids come through, and you've got such a really great community of people that when they come on, they chat. They're excited to hear about pinball, and you got a good thing going on over here.
Well, yeah, thank you. And I'm gonna say like it's one of those things where, it does take time and effort to cultivate a good community. And part of that though isn't just my time and my effort. It's the members, like, we've got 20 people here right now who have been sticking around and creating a welcoming environment for each other. Just on this server, but also like in our Patreon Discord, we've got a couple hundred people. Like, folks really go out of their way to make sure, it's a rough time out there in the world for everybody, and people are trying to help each other out, cheer each other up, and it's great to see. I love seeing it too. You know.
Yeah, awesome. It's great, and these builds are coming along really well. So it's interesting to see. Some people went really big, and
Mm-hmm.
then others went kind of intricate with some more details. You see the vines and the fire. This little smiley face with his eyes.
Yeah.
The fire in his eyes is really great.
Oh yeah, yeah. I love the headless horseman burning pumpkin eyes element here. I like also that the head is slightly disconnected. Although I think that's just temporary. They're gonna have it connected there. But yeah, that's really cool. And pinball is one of those things that to kind of bring it back to people in my community being interested in pinball. Like, I've been running little tournaments or whatever on my Discord here and there with the Pinball FX3 Williams tables, like Monster Bash and I forget which other ones are in there. Theater of Magic, just a bunch of classics are in Pinball
All the
FX3.
great classic Williams games, of course.
Yeah, like, it's one of those things, like, yeah, it's not a full selection, and it's maybe not the best physics engine compared to real life, but it's good enough for people who are stuck in their apartments to play some pinball together. And then when we actually had some folks come into town for Tennessee Game Days board game expo a couple weekends ago, we went down to Game Terminal together and played some 4-player games. I got to do a few rounds of Elvira, some Stranger Things.
Oh, nice, nice.
Yeah.
Which Elvira was it? Scared Stiff, House of Horrors, or Party Monsters?
It was I can never remember which one is which name wise, but it was the middle one chronologically. So it was, I think House of Horrors is the new one. So it wasn't
House of Horrors is the new one, yes. So you're probably Scared Stiff. If it
Yes.
had a crate in the
It had,
center
yeah, it
and
was the one with the
a
crate.
bony beast. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I
That's like the classic. Party Monsters is fun,
mhm.
but it's kind of early on in sort of the when pinballs got brains, so to speak, what we call early solid state games.
Mhm.
So when they kind of transitioned from being electromechanical and having just electronics, so to speak.
Mhm.
Party Monsters got like a little bit of a brain, but it's still kind of a pretty basic game layout. But Scared Stiff, that is actually the game that got me into pinball. When I was in college, there was a really divey bar in my college town that had a Scared Stiff, and we would go and play. And that's when I learned, I was like, wow, there's like actually game objectives and there are things to do. And I played with other people that were really good at pinball. And so they kind of taught me how to play. And it was just a rabbit hole. From there, it was, I couldn't get enough. And
Mhm.
that game itself, Elvira is just an amazing campy character. Cassandra Peterson is just a gem.
Mhm.
And
I'm loving her
there's tons
memoir.
of I actually, so I just got her memoir. My partner Charlie
Mhm.
surprised me with her memoir in the mail, and it's signed by her. And I was
Ooh.
so, I almost cried. It was so sweet and amazing. I haven't read it yet because I just know once I start reading it, I won't be able to stop. And I have too many things to do for Halloween. I feel like Elvira would support my decision to focus on Halloween first and then read her book in November.
Well, I will say, like, I, sometimes it kind of feels wasteful to both buy a book and the book on tape or whatever, but she does read her audiobook version, and you could pick that up for like an extra
Oh,
15 bucks. And so
yes. I
maybe because
definitely want to do that.
you've got like 25 hours of sewing or whatever left in your costume, um, you know, having the physical book to reference occasionally and whatnot is great, but then, listening to the her tell it in her own words.
For
uh
sure. That's actually a great idea. Because when I am working on my creative stuff, I do like to have something sort of running that I don't have to pay attention to as much. So like
mhm,
sometimes I'll put on a TV show that I've already seen that I just don't really I kind of know what's going on, but I don't have to watch it, like be
mhm.
like cognizant. But it can't be too interesting because if it's too interesting, then I get distracted and then I don't work on the things that I need to work on. I just watch the TV show. So
Yep.
it's a balance. But I feel like an audiobook, especially with Cassandra reading it, I think that would be amazing.
Yeah, I've been listening to it. I'm on, like I said, chapter 6 so far. Like, the only reason that I could ever put it down is because some of the stories she tells about her youth, it's just like, as the father of a child who's like not, 16 or 17 yet, it's like, this is this is scary in ways it's not meant to be scary. Like,
Right, right.
uh,
Well, I mean, to be fair, Cassandra, what I think she just turned 69.
mhm.
Maybe she's either 69 or 70. So things have changed a little bit since then.
Oh
So,
yeah, yeah. No, she was talking about how like when she was 15, she was a go-go dancer at like a military base, and it's like, wow,
yeah,
that's
yeah. But she's had a really interesting life.
yeah.
And she's also, it is spooky season, so it's her time of year.
Oh,
And,
definitely.
we were just talking about pinball. So she is kind of the, mistress of the pinball mistress of the dark, I guess,
Hmm.
with 3 pinball machines. So,
Yeah, it's very rare that anybody gets 3 pinball machines. Like you have to be like Star Wars, basically.
right. Well, so there's a few. So there are 3 Black Knight pinball machines.
Hmm.
And Black Knight is just specifically a pinball sort of character, although I guess the Black Knight is in Monty Python. It's kind of like a sort of an archetype, I guess.
Yeah, but was it in the
Um,
original Arthurian legends? That might not be a question for you. That might be a question for the chat. Was there actually a Black Knight in the original Arthurian legends, chat? We'll give them. It'll take them
I don't
15,
know, and
30
if
seconds.
somebody in chat knows, that'd be
I
great.
know there was a Green Knight, but I don't know actually if the Black Knight was like a Monty Python or later thing. But yeah, and that was Steve Ritchie came up with that pinball machine, and right, I think.
Yes, yes. And Steve Ritchie, he's they call him the Master of Flow,
Mm-hmm.
which unfortunately for my 13-year-old brain, every time somebody says Master of Flow, I can just picture a pinball machine covered in maxi pads.
Mm-hmm.
But uh, he's, kind of a classic game designer. He just recently left Stern Pinball and is now designing games at Jersey Jack Pinball,
Mm-hmm.
which was kind of big news for him to move from Stern. But he designed the Terminator games. He designed a game called No Fear, which is like the most 90s game that could ever be a 90s game. It is like kind of like extreme sports sort of like BMX biking and like ski jumps and stuff. And then he's also his claim to fame is of course in the original Mortal Kombat arcade stand-up game. He was the voice that said finish him.
Finish
Um,
him.
finish him. And of course, there are multiple people that now do that classic finish him voice. And so it's not just him, but when it first came out, it was Steve Ritchie. So.
So
Oh
a
yes,
quick
Tracy. The Getaway is also the ultimate Ritchie. So fun fact: The Getaway is actually based on a real experience that Steve Ritchie had. He was going 176 miles an hour in his 70s Porsche and got pulled over by the cops, and then based an entire pinball machine off of speeding away from the cops. And it's called The Getaway.
So real quick, people are like, well, how come I just got a orange sign? I gave everybody an orange sign so that way you can mark your build. You see, basically in front of your build where there were, in some cases, those 2x2 squares that kind of marked the beginning and end of your area. Whether or not you want to remove those squares, that's up to you. But if you can put a sign in front of your build that says the name of the folks who built it, we're getting to the point soon. This is like your 12-minute warning. Rebecca and I are going to have to actually go through all these with y'all, talk about them, but we need to take notes as we go, and being able to see the names of the people written down as we take our notes will help us come to a conclusion.
For sure. And actually, give me 1 minute. I got to go grab a pen.
Yeah, I was going to say, if you don't have a pen and paper,
now I'm going to go grab it now.
Now is a good time to go grab it.
The things that are, I mean, they're all coming together now. I love, it's like feverish here. This is like the fast rush to get everything finished. It's great.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I'm loving it too. So let's see. People are saying that the Green Knight was real, but not the Black Knight. So thank you, Stellar Spider, for that Arthurian legend update. I'm gonna give everyone glow ink. Glow ink sack. And I'll give you 3 just in case. So that way we can read the signs. Thank you, Madeline, though. Appreciate the thought. Yeah, this this is such a cool design. There are so many great designs already coming together here. Like, hey, welcome, Felix Raiders. Glad you could join us.
All right, I've got my pen. I'm ready. I'm officially in judge mode now.
Great. Hey, welcome, Jumi, as well. We are getting a raid. Why don't we get out our little tablet here and say welcome? Well, that's a bad color to say welcome in. That's a bad. Let's make this bright orange. Welcome, Raiders. Glad y'all could join us.
Hello, Raiders.
It's me and Hot Nudge Rebecca. Whoops, I didn't do a good job of pointing an arrow at that. Boom. There we go. Hot Nudge Rebecca helping me judge a build contest. I can move my head kind of out of the way here. Folks have about 9.5 more minutes to build Halloween-themed parade floats. And Rebecca and I are going to go ahead and we are going to kind of go down the line. We'll probably start at the back and work our way forward. And we'll get a little bit of info from the folks about each one, kind of talk about them on camera, take some notes quietly. And then at the end, Rebecca and I, I'm going to switch over to my cell phone Discord so I can play music for y'all. And then, what was I going to say? Then we'll come back and announce the top 3.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And Joe, if I can lean on you a little bit to sort of point out some of the things, like you mentioned earlier, with using materials in a way that are, something you've never seen before, or some creativity that way. Obviously, I am already blown away by what people have been able to do in an hour, but some more specificity on how complex some things are, or wow, this is something I've never seen before, and I didn't know you could do it this way. That'll help me to sort of weigh my decisions as well. So some expertise from you would be helpful too.
Oh, yeah. No problem. I'm really looking forward to just having your point of view as somebody who is just coming in though and looking at this as sculpture without necessarily being familiar with the tools at hand though as well.
I mean, can you just imagine being one of these amazing block humans walking through this awesome parade route? Like, this is like the best Halloween parade I've ever seen.
Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna put myself in survival mode real quick, and then like actually walk down the sidewalk here. So yeah, just to give you a sense of scale, if this parade was going past me, like these floats are just gigantic.
Wow, wow. This looks like some sort of house that I feel like maybe it's referencing something that I am not familiar with. Does anybody in chat recognize that like sort of cubist house?
You know, I wasn't sure what it was either, but you know, and that's the sort of thing though that we can also ask the contestants when we actually go down the line and talk to them. If it was like a particular inspiration, because like it might be from some movie that I haven't seen, you know, because like I've tried to watch as many horror movies as I can every October, but they just make so many of them. There's like 13 Halloween movies alone.
Isn't there like weird things like that? Well, we'll find out from the builder.
Oh, you might be right. Those might be the containment units from Cabin in the Woods.
Yeah, yeah. So that might be what that is, but we'll find out from the builder. This architectural masterpiece they've created here.
Yeah, and that the cabin itself is, you know, on the front of the box, it's like a Rubik's Cube cabin on the DVD box or whatever for Cabin in the Woods. Mm-hmm. I think that might be what they were doing with the building, because I was like, it's weird how that building is like rotated around itself, but I can't place it. Oh, that's
Very
clever.
Cool. Very cool.
But yeah, just to get a sense of like how big this Ghostbusters trap is going down the street here with the beams of light shining out the top.
So big. You can actually almost walk underneath it.
Oh, yeah.
Now, remind me, Joe, this was not the one that had the monster, the secret monster trap.
No. That was the one with the Cabin in the Woods bubble elevator. The cabin.
Okay.
So the Cabin in the Woods theme just goes all the way down.
Very cool.
On that. Hey, it looks like we just got a tip rolling in as well. Thank you very much to Aline, who says, "Spooks to you, Joe. Have a great Saturday." Well, thanks, Aline. That puts us 19 away from the next expansion after this one. So here we go. It's time to expand. Just
how much bigger can you get?
It gets a lot bigger. Like I pushed the limits.
So we'll be able to see all your pores.
Yeah, basically, I pushed the limits of the OBS software and the camera. But this is one of the reasons that I had to get green glasses too, so that the glasses don't dominate the scene here.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah, we got our propeller hat ghost. Oh, interesting. That jack-o'-lantern is leaking slime. It looks like now, or maybe those are vines growing.
Ooh. Or it's like barfing slime.
Yeah, that's possible.
That's pretty good. Pretty good. What's our time count?
On time, we are 4.5 minutes out, everybody.
4.5 minutes? Oh my god, this hour went like so fast.
Oh yeah. Well, and that's the thing though, is it seems like, that's gonna be a while to like just sit around and talk. But you know, honestly, when you have cool stuff like this to look at, and
I can talk forever.
Yeah. Well, hey, that's one of the reasons I invited you. Because you are indeed a very talented vocalist. You can check Rebecca out at twitch.tv/hotnudge if you want to see her and her friends Anna and Jane usually, but sometimes they have other special guests too, playing pinball and palling around. I strongly recommend it.
Yeah, for sure. Actually, Joe, while we have a couple minutes, what would be super cool is I have actually never seen a Minecraft pinball machine. Has anybody built a pinball machine in Minecraft?
Okay, so it's hard to do mechanically in Minecraft, but I actually am.
Well, it doesn't have to work, but just like the structure.
Well, so that's actually what I'm thinking about doing. A little bit of background on like how my series works is I play on like a big community server, and we reset it every like 12 to 18 months because they add things to the game where your old world wouldn't work as well anymore, and so you kind of want to start with a fresh canvas, if that makes sense. And
sure.
So I'm thinking that when we do our next fresh canvas reset, that my base actually, I want to build a scale model of an actual pinball machine with all the mechanisms actually like under the whitewood to scale too. And so when Nashville has its pinball expo, which is unfortunately also Halloween weekend, so I'm going to miss the Chicago one, I was going to hit up some parts vendors and actually buy like flipper mechanisms, slingshot mechanisms, things like that I can hold up on my stream and like also like measure with rulers and like say like, okay, so if we put in a slingshot here, here's the parts that you can't normally see, but we can go inside and, here's how a drop target works underneath. Here's how a rollover target
Oh my
works.
gosh, that is super cool. That'll be super awesome.
Yeah.
I think you can also, so Internet Pinball Database is a really awesome resource
Mhm.
for basically any pinball machine that's been ever created. And I'll tell you the artist, it'll tell you the designer, it'll have some details, but a lot of the machines also have sort of the original manual that came with the game.
Mhm.
So they have actual game schematics where you can see how the game is laid out. You can see all the different like lamp matrices and things like that. So and sometimes they have like sort of a breakdown of mechanics, like especially if it's a proprietary um mechanism where they'll say like, here is the trap mechanism for this particular game, and it'll kind of be like the schematics of it, designed for if you were actually to own the game and you needed to fix it or take it apart.
Mhm.
And that could be a good resources as well for your builders to kind of look at different game layouts. There's also another program called, I believe it's called Pinball Maker, maybe. I can find out, but it's basically to make your own virtual pinball machine.
Mhm.
But that's got the the setup where you can kind of almost kind of like a basic CAD style maker where you
Mhm.
could make a functioning virtual pinball machine. And something like that might be helpful for the makers to sort of visualize what things look like. Obviously, the mechanics for building in Minecraft is much different, but I think that's kind of the beauty of it, is figuring out how to fit it within this sort of 32-bit kind of build world. Which is why people like Minecraft so much, right?
Mhm. Well, one thing to clarify is that like when my friends and I play on the same server, like my build projects are kind of my build projects. So like the folks who are making these things for this parade route, they're making these on their world. Like it's a server I run, but like my YouTube and Twitch shows is me building stuff that I build. You know what I mean? I don't have like
Yeah.
so I don't have like a staff of people that scurry around and build things for me.
Joe, you got to get a staff. You got to get a
Yeah,
staff of mind
clearly,
build script.
clearly, yeah. I mean, that's really the way to scale up. But yeah, no. So any blocks that I'm going to be placing in game, it is going to be me. But yeah, the manuals would be helpful to me either way. Yeah, and I don't know. I'm just looking forward to having an excuse to like, actually pick up some stuff I can hold in my hands at the. Oh, hey, there's our timer. Okay, time's up. I actually did post a. Okay, so at this point, the only blocks to place at this time are your orange signs if you haven't yet, because we do need those. We do need those signs in with the names of the thing. Okay, so let's see.
That whole last few minutes, I kept thinking of the the music that plays when you play Sonic the Hedgehog and you're underwater, and it's like I wish we could have played that for them.
Yeah. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. We are going to transfer to the Season 8 Vanilla SMP room. If you scroll down, you'll see that under S8 Vanilla SMP, Rebecca. And then we can hopefully be able to ask people live about their builds as we go. So I'm going to move myself to that room, and you can click on it and join it too. See you there. So confirm I'm switching rooms. Okay. Hey, everybody. If you don't mind holding off on talking because you are live on the stream, I wanted to be able to... let's hope that Rebecca actually can get over here. I don't think I can drag her from that room to this room because it's so far away in the Discord that I don't think I can drag a name that far in the game or in the software. Does she know how to join this room? Maybe not, though. Well, I'm gonna try this. Hey, Rebecca, you here now? Did that work? Maybe? No. Okay. Well, core concept, we are about to talk to the folks who actually did the builds about the builds.
Can you guys hear me?
Yay. Okay, great. You're here now. Woo.
Sorry.
Okay, so I would prefer if the only people who speak for the next bit are going to be Rebecca and I and whoever's build we're looking at. So even if you have something to say about somebody else's build, say it in the text chat, not in the voice chat. So first up here, we have Gaia Eagle. And Gaia, if you don't have a microphone handy and you want to talk in the in-game chat, use that because it'll show up on screen and we'll see it. If you do have a microphone, okay, Gaia says, yeah, I'll use this. Yeah, go ahead and walk us through what your build is in the text chat then, please, Gaia. Okay, I'm just going to fly past it here. Ooh. Gaia says, it is a deer skull losing its velvet.
Ooh. That's a beautiful and also pretty spooky looking process as well.
Yeah, I don't know. Do deer skull traditionally have velvet in like some sort of witchcraft, or which usually happens around then, symbolizing the transfer into the colder months?
Ooh, the floating candles are a nice touch.
Mm-hmm.
And it does look like the shedding of the velvet of that's pretty cool.
Is velvet what you call a deer's fur, or?
I don't know, but whenever I've seen it, I've seen it very rarely. But when you see it, it does look like, pretty like bloody.
Yeah. So I'm gonna make some notes here. Gaia deer skull. Okay. Wow, this is really cool, Gaia, and I like the you got the glowing eye. You've got the wheels down here, the little hub protectors. I don't know, wheel wells, I guess they're called. You've got it pulled by these two clearly very strong skeletal horses. So I like the attention to detail there. Yeah, this is a great one to start off with.
And it has a parade float feel to it. I mean, that's the theme as well. You've got this sort of, structure. You've got the carriage as well as this like almost altar to this really cool build. Great job, Gaia.
Yeah, this is fantastic. And Juniper Willows says that velvet is what they call the covering on the antlers, and it's renewed each year according to Stellar Spider. Wow. Okay, yeah, this is a very autumnal, very Halloween themed build. A great start. We're gonna go down the street here then to our second float. I'm realizing in some ways flying backwards is the opposite of how a parade normally progresses. So when we do this next time, I already said we were going to do this back to front. Next time we'll definitely go front to back, so it'll feel more like the parade.
We got to switch it up a little bit. They're expecting us to come from the front, so we're gonna, change it up.
Yeah. So this is the mobile corn maze by Kindless. Kindless, are you in voice with us, or would you like to explain it in text chat?
I am. Hello.
Hello. Go ahead and walk us through the mobile corn maze.
I built this because parades, when I was a kid, the parade floats kind of move in like segmented chunks and then stop, and there'd be an activity. So kids could run through mazes and stuff and then, get off, and then the parades would all kind of move to the next group of kids. So I thought this was thematically good and simple, because it's always hard to actually have something the size of a wagon that will fit a whole activity.
That's interesting. Where do you mind saying roughly the region you grew up in? Because I never heard of an activity parade before, but that sounds like a really cool, fun thing for the kids.
I live in Ontario.
Ontario. Awesome. And another question.
I love that there's a personal connection with it, too. This is something that you experienced personally. And when you think of this type of time of year parade, this is what comes up to it. And that personal connection is really cool.
So just out of curiosity, this pumpkin, the custom pattern on that, did you make that, or was that something that somebody else on the server made available?
I did not. I bought it from one of our shops.
Ah, excellent. Yeah, so if you see this @ symbol, that's based on the shirt that my Minecraft skin wears, Rebecca. So Yeah,
Oh,
it's just
awesome. So he added a little Joe Hill's flair in there.
yeah, a little Joe Hill's flair. Another thing I want to note, I love this little green tractor. Like it's, it definitely gives this a very real feeling. Like little chain there, just across the board. This is a fantastic contribution. Thank you so much, Kindleless.
I'm
Yeah,
glad you
great
enjoyed it.
job.
Yeah. Okay. So make sure, Rebecca, if you have any notes. Yeah.
Yep, I am taking notes as we're looking, and I'm already impressed. So
Yes. And so we're going to head down to this one. Let's see what we've got here. This is the Socks, Madeline and Michael Socks, who are just hanging out in some sort of weird boat train contraption. Okay, and so I'm not sure if the boat train is pulling this or what. The three tropes of Halloween: eldritch horror, gore, and haunted festival. Okay, so let's see what we've got here. So we got the eldritch horror with these creepy plants, I'm guessing. The gore is the pile of flesh. Anytime you just got a good old heap of flesh, that just
just
screams.
a good old steaming heap of flesh.
Yeah. It's like,
Yeah, the smoke is a nice touch too, because you think of gore, you think of bloody things, but the fact that it's sort of signifying that it's hot, so it's fresh, is a nice touch. So Joe, correct me, is in order to achieve something like this, so there's probably like fire hidden underneath this build.
Yeah,
to
there's
create
little
that kind of
campfires hidden here. And the fire can move through certain blocks. I didn't know it could move through these blocks, but so that's an interesting choice. Maybe it can move through all blocks, and I'm just bad at things.
That's a cool mechanic to kind of think of to kind of create this effect. It's cool.
Oh yeah, definitely. And so we got entrails hanging off bits here. Very, very cool. Like, is the house part of the Eldritch Horror? If I go in, ooh, it says boo. I don't know what I expected. But yeah, so it's like some slime and little skeleton there. Very cool. Now, of course, a lot of real parade floats, like in New Orleans, where they've been doing this for a while, they actually require that you have some sort of internal structure with like a porta potty or something on some of the bigger parades, just because if you got 20 or 40 people riding on one of these things, you could have people standing all along the rails here throwing candy and beads and stuff. You got to have that little interior area. So
well, and these other builds around the house, that they're like almost like spooky trees.
Yeah,
is that kind of what they're that very cool? They're almost like they're like trees, but also candelabra-y. I think they look really cool.
Oh yeah. This is a very good choice. Oh, so you've actually got these labeled too: Eldritch Horror, Gore, and then up here we have the Haunted Festival. So I like the use of the sea cucumber for the stem of the pumpkin. That's a very obvious thing when you see it, but like that's a combination of two blocks that I wouldn't have necessarily thought to make, and I don't think I've ever done that before, or seen it done before. So that's very good, Madeline and Michael.
Points for ingenuity.
Indeed. So what does this say? Bobbing for apples, press button. Well, I'm not in a game mode where I can press buttons, but I can get there. Game mode survival. Hey, and I got an apple. Woo. Am I invisible for some reason? I might be invisible also. Yeah, apparently.
There's nothing, there's a lot of, bobbing for apples is a very specific Halloween themed thing. I mean, the thought of putting my face in like just random water now is kind of gross, but as a kid, bobbing for apples was pretty fun. Like just like opening your mouth and trying to like scarf an apple that like other people are sticking their faces in. Maybe it's not very COVID appropriate, but it's very indicative of the seasonal element of this build. So
oh yeah, this is a very, very interesting setup. Congratulations to both the Socks on putting together something so excellent. Let's go ahead and wander down here. I'm gonna get back into first person mode because being this flying cloak is weird. Why am I oh yeah, because I'm not in spectator mode anymore. So when we come down to this float here, this is Mardigan and Melora, and also Mardigan, it seems. Ooh, I like this grill on the front of the truck. That's an interesting setup there. You've got 2 zombies in here in minecarts that are presumably driving. So that's
So it was just the name of them. They don't have like an actual named theme of this particular float.
Well, I asked them to put their names on the sign. So
Sure.
the other folks had like put in an extra sign.
Okay.
So
to
like
kind of
the
explain what it is.
yeah, the 3 tropes of Halloween. But like not everything needs a sign. In some ways, it's kind of, better if it just is self-explanatory. Although this one also does have one that says Babalar Menagerie. Babalar is their the part of the server they play on. They built a little city they called Babalar, and they
Very
made a
cool.
little sign here that says Hexalotl. So that map. So to make a sign like this in Minecraft, you can use a Minecraft map item, and it will draw on a piece of paper basically whatever is underneath you. So they had to walk around probably a 128 by 128 meter area and place blocks to draw this, and then pull out a map to have it
wow.
draw it from a top-down view. So that's pretty impressive.
That's very impressive, and that's some planning as well.
Oh yeah, yeah. So in some ways, even though it took an hour to do this, making that map might have been a huge thing.
And also, it's adorable. Look at that cute little witch. So cute.
Yeah. So just out of curiosity, Mardigan and Melora, are you in voice chat or text chat?
I am here.
So, did you buy this from a shop or did you make this for this
I
contest?
made all of the maps here. The Babalar Menagerie maps. The zombies and the hexalotl maps are both images that I got from Tea Turtle, but the My Little Zorse is one that I drew myself.
Okay. Oh, the zombies are also cute, and the My Little Zorse you drew that too. Wow, that is a very impressive amount of effort.
And zombies are so cute. Oh my gosh. How terrifying would it be if you had zombie bees? But zombies, very cute. And all these so are these look like vines, but they also look like entrails at the same time.
Yeah, these are vines that grow in like the hell dimension of Minecraft. A quick note, I love that the horses are named Ignorance, Bewilderment, Shouting, and Panic.
Totally lots of thought put into the theme for this. And really, even without, kind of some of the background, it's still a really cool build, but then all the extra little details are really cool.
Yeah, this is very, very interesting. So thank you very much to Mardigan and Melora. The axolotls are also named? Good note, Melora. Let me see if I can see that. They swim around so fast. The Maiden, the Crone, and Tiffany Aching. I know the Maiden and the Crone, I think, are cards from the Mother. Yeah, those are all cards from a, what do you call that set? Tarot? But, I don't know what Tiffany Aching is. Oh, that's Terry Pratchett? Okay. I haven't read his Witches book, but clearly I should. So, gotcha. And it looks like up next we have Bear33. Bear, are you on voice or are you in text chat? Would you like to explain what you've got?
I'm here. Well, I don't have a whole lot to explain. My whole concept is I wanted to have that big pumpkin, and I was like, okay, how do I move that pumpkin? How do I make it go around places? So I pulled that whole carriage underneath and put that ghost to pull all the things.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's about it.
That is very cool. I like the ghostly. Instead of having a horse, you're just having it pulled by this spectral figure, which is shrieking. It looks like, which is great. The pumpkin is very cool. I like the teeth and the eyes and everything. It's a very organic feeling pumpkin too. And this is one person in an hour.
From what you've, I mean, it's from afar you can tell. And this was also the build that you were talking about, utilizing those the spokes was the type of materials that you were not typical of how those materials are used, which is cool too.
Yeah, this is just absolutely just fantastic. So, wow. Yeah, it's one of those things, like, this is something that, like, it feels like something out of a Miyazaki film almost. Like something like
Totally,
this,
totally.
if there was a
I love that,
Miyazaki Halloween
yeah.
parade.
When you mention organic, I love that it's like the vines are sort of growing over the edges of the chariot, and the kind of, you could have just put a straight, stem on the pumpkin, but it's this kind of organically cut curly Q. Very cool, nice mixes of textures and things, and then adding those little jack-o'-lantern blocks to kind of keep the spookiness level high is very cool. I love it.
Fantastic. A very, very strong entry by Bear. Let's go ahead and figure out where all that slime was coming from. The not toxic team. Des, Dahlia, Meep, Naomi, Atlanteus, and Tylo briefly. So Toxic is one of the players on the server, and I'm guessing he was not on this team, but they do seem to have some toxic slime. Do you have one representative who can talk?
Super not toxic, very friendly.
Yeah. Do you have one representative who can talk? Because I don't want to have 5 people jump on voice, but...
No worries. Hello, this is Des. I was the person who had this idea in my head. I wanted to have a float that had a cauldron on it that happened to have several mobs and people in the cauldron being having a lovely hot tub bath, as you would. As you can see, I'm in here as well.
Hi, Des.
Hello. And yeah, so I had a couple of people join me last minute and kind of put in a bunch more inspiration with some warped stuff and just general feel for spooky stew, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
And some Oz in there, some ooze in there for special effect, as I am in fact owned by the toxic Bezos and figured I should brand appropriately.
Gotcha. Okay, well, this is very cool. I am gonna say I don't love that you trailed into the next zone. That is,
we did ask Bear for permission.
Okay.
And I think it was a tad bit of creativity mess that ended up happening at that point. There's a lot of ooze that was not planned, and we do apologize for any ooze that may be capped off in some way.
Yeah, because everybody does have to use these streets, and just as a warning, if you compete in a real Mardi Gras parade and you start like draining sludge out the back of your float, they will fine you. They do not like that. So
it's good to note. Yeah, we would definitely not drain as much sludge, or if we did, we wouldn't admit to it.
Yeah, well, they kind of can follow the trail, but okay, this is very cool though. It took me a while to figure out when you were building the cauldron. Exactly there. Gaia Eagle points out that it's not a good idea to march directly behind horses in a parade for similar reasons. Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Well, we also, when this was being built, we were loving the fire within the pumpkin's eyeballs as well. I thought that was a nice touch.
Yeah, that definitely worked out. Yeah.
That was a wonderful touch by our own Atlanteus, who decided to have a giant pumpkin pulling the cart.
Gotcha. Wow. Any thoughts on this, Rebecca, before we move on?
Just a really great build. I like it. We totally get the toxic sludge kind of, I was like, is that pumpkin barfing like slime? So tying that in with your team name is worked out really well, and it kind of comes across as such. So
all right. So let's go ahead and check out this next one. We have from Mind's Eyes. Mind's Eyes, will you be joining us via voice or text chat?
Hey, yeah, so I basically built a ghost, and as a float should, it floats around with the propeller head and not with boring old wheels. And that's basically all.
Gotcha. Okay, so the propeller hat is the justification for not having a trailer.
Yes.
Yeah, as drones get cheaper and cheaper, we might start seeing more of that in parades, just floats that are suspended by little drone arrays. So that's very interesting.
Was that one of the specifications of the build, Joe? Is that it had to have like a float aspect, like like it had to have been structured in a way that could be like within a parade float?
It's part of the overall theme. And part of the judging is, how good of a parade float is it, but it's not necessarily like out of bounds or against the rules to do it this way. If that makes any sense.
Very cool. Very cool.
But, he did have a justification. Yeah, this thing is floating, or it's like a giant balloon type of thing, or and there are parades that do have big balloons and stuff like that. And so, yeah, that's not out of bounds.
Sure, and it's very impressive. If I were to be in a parade and I saw this giant floating ghost like that, it would be very impressive.
And I can see it's kind of rounding the corner here. There's other smaller balloons as well that are
like little floating friends.
Yeah.
So are the spider webs, is that kind of like its primordial sort of, like what's ectoplasm or something?
Or is that like sparkles, like light bouncing off it? I'm not sure. I'd like
what
to.
What are those little hidden things inside the build? Was there something hidden inside?
Somebody crashed into it and died, and that's all their items.
Okay.
Because I was like, ooh, something hidden. Nope. So that's just a grave.
I mean, a spooky grave is a spooky grave.
Yeah. Very cool. Okay, so thank you very much to Minds Eins. And then we have got this next one. Let's see who's Ghostbuster. Uh-oh, there's no sign. Y'all, I gave you signs for a reason.
It's on the front end.
What? Wait,
It's over here on the front.
It's on the...
On the top of the front, though.
Oh, it's not at street level. Oh, okay. Sorry. Okay, so welcome to Kang and Neo's float. Kang, can you walk us through what we are looking at here?
We're not actually part of this parade. We're just here because we got called out for some supernatural activity. We can see there's a couple of ghosties around. Maybe we're just here to sort of take care of that problem.
Yeah. You guys are just here to trap some foes.
They look quite benign at the moment, but we're watching.
If you really want to get Rick Moranis back into acting, doing a mashup of Ghostbusters and Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, be like, oh no, the ghosts have gotten too big. We need to expand the size of the proton packs and traps accordingly. Just having a giant proton pack or a giant trap rolling down the street. I guess you could do something with that.
I would be in line to watch that movie because Rick Moranis is a treasure and I love him so much. Mm-hmm. And I think that'd be a pretty interesting move there. I mean, there is a new Ghostbusters that is coming out, or it's not out yet, but with Paul Rudd.
Yeah.
It's kind of like a extra one, so.
Well, I enjoyed him in that Ant-Man film, so I'm going to probably give this a chance. When it comes out.
Well, I love that they added the all of the controls on the side there, and even the character themselves is dressed as a Ghostbuster, and we were wondering what it was when you were building, and then as soon as we kind of got close, we knew exactly what it was. It's very recognizable. So props to you guys. You guys made an awesome build that is that's super great, and I love Ghostbusters. It's perfectly on theme.
Just fantastic and phantomtastic. I don't know, but thank you very much to Kang and Neo for showing us that. And then I think we've got one more to go, which we have guessed is a Cabin in the Woods theme. And it's more obvious now that we're thinking of that. Yeah, that's clearly a Rubik's Cube cabin there. Is there a sign out front? Seriously, y'all? I gave you signs.
Uh-oh.
Whose build is this?
Wrath of Joe.
Yeah.
I put it at the back by accident.
Okay, well, now I gotta go fly over here. Okay, so this is Seanard's plot with help from Super Stone. So, Seanard, are you available to walk us through this?
Yeah, you guessed it correctly. The Cabin in the Woods theme with monster containment cells and the Rubik's Cube cabin from the post.
Yeah, this is very interesting.
It's very cool. Did you guys plan this out? Like, did you have a lot of? I mean, obviously, if you're having the reference material, it looks like what you said it is. Like, when we were trying to guess, that was a guess, and then all of a sudden it all came together.
Funny you should mention planning. Quite a bit of it actually for the mob.
Oh, to get the monsters in advance. Because yeah, these monsters you have here, like the swimming guardian, that one. So like you might have seen those like little axolotls earlier, Rebecca. Those you can just put in a bucket and move. Whereas these things are like terrifying monsters. You can't move those easily. Nor can you move a phantom, which is this flying thing here. A ravager. These things are terrible too. And then this glowing creeper, if it blows up, it takes out like a city block with it. If a normal creeper gets struck by lightning, yeah, you're gonna have trouble. The least dangerous out of this whole bunch is this skeleton that will poison you and kill you with one hit. So it's like this is quite.
So this is a terrifying containment cells, area in general.
Yeah.
But the amount of planning that it took to get these nefarious foes all in one place was also quite an endeavor as well.
Yeah, that's quite a lot.
Sorry, yeah, because I didn't know, and you said we couldn't pick plots ahead of time. I actually have the infrastructure set up to do any plot under the whole road.
Yeah, and I saw that. We flew around underneath, and I was like, oh, this is really Cabin in the Woods at that point, where you had, I'm going to fly down here for the benefit of anybody watching at home. You had set up corrals down here, and then a bunch of trains, which you've already cleaned up your tracks. Okay, but yeah, you had all these corrals with all the different mobs. It looks like the baby slime didn't get up there in time, but honestly, of all the ones to skip, that's the least impressive to get into a case like that, because that slime won't kill you, Rebecca, like the other things would.
He was back up if the creeper, something went wrong with the charged creeper.
Oh, if something went wrong with the charged
backup monsters, like, well, if the other monster somehow gets away, we'll just throw Slimer up in there.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, if this charged creeper went off, like I said, it would take out like this block. It would, which is also smart that you didn't build next to the other players. I was kind of like, man, everybody else built next to each other. Why didn't Sean build next to somebody? It's like, okay, well, because if you're trying to move that charged creeper and somebody walks up to it and blows up half the parade, that's going to ruin everybody's day. So, yeah, that was probably smart that you gave yourself some extra space there. So, okay, cool.
Very cool.
I think that is everyone that we needed to go ahead and show off. I am going to queue up some music here, and then...
really quick, Joe, I just want to say that, you guys, I am super impressed with what everybody has done. All of these builds are super great. I love there's such a wide variety of thoughts. Some are personal, some are, just from culture, from all walks of spookiness, and you guys should be really impressed and excited for yourselves. I am having such a great time just being here and seeing all of these really cool things that you guys have made. And from somebody that is not as well versed in Minecraft, holy crap, I can't believe some of the things that a seasoned builder can do. And you guys, you knocked it out of the park. This is a super awesome spooky parade for sure.
Yeah, this is just spectacular. And we're not ending the stream now. We're gonna go judge privately. We're gonna go back to that room. Rebecca, you didn't have too much trouble changing rooms, did you?
No. As long as I know where it is, I can just pop into a different room.
Yeah. So we're going to go back into that other room. And in the meantime, I am going to put on some songs I wrote. Let's see. We've got Lectern Full Cauldron. And let's go ahead and do... probably should have picked these in advance, like a professional. Binge Watch Wrap. And then if we need it, we'll put on the Season 8 credits wrap. So that'll give us about 10 minutes, but we probably won't use all of it. So be right back, y'all. Okay.
Cool.
want a girl who can sort a chest. I want a girl with shears that cut and swords that burn through zombie flesh. I want a girl who knows world generation, who crafts furrows and times her attack. She's modding her community. She's flying through the air. She's smelting out impurities and feeding her cat. I want a girl with a lectern and a full cauldron. I want a girl who logs in early. I want a girl who plays till late. I want a girl with unobstructed creativity who uses a tripwire to ruin your day. With shulker boxes organized and lustrous in a tone that will torch you like desert grass. Who crafts furrows and times her attack. She's smelting out impurities and feeding her cat. I want a girl with a lectern and a full cauldron. Shield is emblazoned. I want a girl with good enchantments. On some server we will meet incidentally. We'll start to talk as we shoot skeletons. She wants a spawn with biome convenience. She wants a spawn that's in good repair. She's changing her end from wither to dragon. She's trading her archery for a trident that's self-repairing. I want a girl with a lectern and a full cauldron. Green glass screen, placing blocks by hand, it's the hills extreme. Have you ever seen a yo's expand? Grown and shown up with your demands, yeah. Everybody subscribe, Sean Hills is here to promote his bro live. Placing blocks all over the place, all powered by a bigot with jump boost and haste. Brother, I'll watch him let's play. Excavate with Joe, all the views, I'll say it. Binge watch, hermit, craft. Binge watch, hermit, craft. Binge watch, hermit, craft. Joe. Go binge watch, go binge watch 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 Joe. Joe. Stream it. Fill in your gaps, check live feeds and load up Hermitcraft. Watch it on any side screen. Back it up to clone redstone machines just building. With dry concrete powder, wetting it down for a much smoother towel. Cause on this tube there's only one server. The whitelist is closed, so don't inquire further. Neighboring players compete on their stores. Hermitcrafters you love with improv rapport, you just binge watch, Hermitcraft. Binge watch, Hermitcraft. Binge watch, Hermitcraft. Joe. Go binge watch, go binge watch 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 Joe. Viewers, you better click subscribe because today we're building that hype. Comment your Praises don't fail. Sean Hill's on a roll with Hermitcrafted tales, singing out loud the way it should be sung, with the Nashville sound that you like for fun. You know it's live now like a Hermitcrafter. Read the description, tweet about it after. The hour of the Hermit is nigh, churning out videos y'all will like. Binge watch Hermit Craft. Binge watch Hermit Craft. Binge watch Hermit Craft. Yo, 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 yo. Go binge watch, 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 yo. Yo, 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 yo. Binge watch Hermit Craft. Binge watch Hermit Craft. Binge watch Hermit Craft. Yo, 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 yo. Go binge watch, yo. Go binge watch, yo. Go binge watch, yo. Go binge watch, yo. Yo, 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 yo. Who's the guy who conquers death? The mister with the whispers when Mumbo forgets. After introducing Pearl and Gem to say we're settling a continent. Shoulder to shoulder, surrounded by water. Beyond which reset, risk your face if you wanna. We live close, we build close, we speak in proximity. Season 8's here today, still in its infancy. Mumbo is saying go, everyone's cheering. Suddenly scattering, always unfearing. Though it passed by without Mumbo mentioning, there's a crew, you know who to keep you adventuring. Asuma securing villagers. Pearl on fine architecture. Joe grabbing supplies, ready to throw at the first fools who die. Bring on the creepers, bring on the flames. The resupply crew will get you going again. The very first to die, B-double-O, don't cry. Pops and quite chagrin, takes some apples and he flies. Zombie Cleo's next, needs an axe for the road. Geared up and cheered up, she's off with some lows. Gemini Tay appears slain by Jevin, but B-dubs is back before Joe loads the first chest in. Then Pearl's killed by Cleo, who Joe had armed previously. Then Cleo's dead too per Isco mischievously. Impulse SV got blown up by a creeper. Says he won't be back, but how can he be sure? Bring on the
Hey, welcome Olraf Raiders. We are in the middle of judging a Minecraft parade build contest. So I have my mic mostly muted while I talk to the other judge about what the first, second, and third place contestants should be, which is why it says judging right now, BRB. So please indulge us in a few more minutes of silence and music while we go. But thank you, Olraf, for the raid. I appreciate it. But we do got to get these folks a winner for their contest.
Joe took to the sky with cobble unbounded. Lava to dump on the brigands below or on himself. This direction, let's go! Heading down to somewhere with coordinates in hand. Bridging and a tunneling connecting flower forest land. Cleo is away, so Joe leaves her a saddle. He hopes as he does she won't use it for battle. Returning to world spawn and lighting his tunnel, he keeps striking lava and dies a whole bundle. And droughts hunting squids, though he tried his best. But no worries, back at world spawn there's a resupply chest. Bring on the creepers, bring on the flames. The resupply crew will get you going again. One chest becomes 4 labeled in stock. The shell thickens yet with smooth sandstone block. Bushes are placed, ravines are filled in. Also the hermits could keep adventuring. If dying is losing, then living is winning. Episode's done, but the show's just beginning. Pick up some tools, some potatoes and steak, and show 'em you're real, give 'em season 8.
Who's the guy who can conquer death? That's Joe Hughes. He plays for Nashville when he plays Minecraft. That's Joe Hughes. That's Joe Hughes.
So let me... No, you don't change anything on your end, but they'll be able to hear us now. So, okay, welcome back, everyone. Thank you to Olraf for the raid. I am joined today by Hot Nudge's Rebecca. You can find her on Twitter and Twitch as @HotNudge. She's an amazing pinball streamer, an incredible artist, and just a talented and fun person to hang out with. We are here, for those of you just joining us, to judge a Halloween float build contest here on my Patreon server. Folks competed over the course of 1 hour. All of these builds inside this street were completed in 1 hour each. I mean, it was one simultaneous hour because it was a bunch of different teams. And just to run you back down the line, because we had so many folks just coming in, 131 folks, Old Raft Raiders, love y'all being here. First float that we're going to look, well, actually, wait. You know what? We talked about how we should have done the parade front to back because that's how a real parade would go. Let's go through all the floats from the front to back, and then we'll announce the winners. So we'll go ahead and shout out everybody who worked so hard on this. Gonna just...
Yeah, you guys, it was not easy to judge, but it was... I mean, everybody's a winner here. This is the coolest parade I would have ever experienced, for sure.
Yeah, you are winners. Congratulations for hanging out with amazing creative people and being amazing creative people. The first float in the parade is Shawnard and I forget the second person's name, sorry. Cabin in the Woods, which the cool Rubik's Cube cabin on the front of the float. And then these containment units. This is all built in survival. In the last hour, Shawnard and Superstone, that was it, had staged these mobs nearby and brought them in via rails once the build contest started. So they had an hour to build this entire float and move these mobs here. So super impressive at the front of the parade. Second float in the parade, we have the Kang and Neo Ghostbusters trap, which I just absolutely love. It's gorgeous. Third up, we've got Minds, Eins, Floating Ghost balloons. We got little balloons, we got big balloons. It's looking great. I know I'm going through these quick for the folks who just came in, but I know the folks who have been here for 2 hours now want to hear who won. So we'll get to that immediately after we see all the floats one more time. The Not Toxic team has the Sludge Vomiting Pumpkin and Overflowing Cauldron. Woo! Yeah, moving that Charge Creeper was crazy. Over here, we've got Bear 33 with this cute little Miyazaki-style pumpkin pulling a gourd cart, which is just absolutely organic and gorgeous. I love these wheels on here. This is, we looked at this while Bear was building this, and I have never seen these used as spokes in this way, but this is an idea worth stealing. Then over here, we've got Mardigan and Melora and also Mardigan's Babalar Menagerie. They got a truck piloted by 2 zombies, got some axolotls, and a little menagerie with zombie horses in it, including some custom maps, My Little Zorse, zombies, really cool stuff. Im just says, I think Scar did similar wheels on his wagon. Oh, I didn't pay enough attention to Scar, clearly. I'm sorry, Scar. The 3 tropes of Halloween, Eldritch Horror, Gore, and Haunted Festival by The Socks, Madeline and Michael Socks. We've got a nice little festival here. Looks like Madeline is ready to help people bob for apples. We've got a big old heaping pile of flesh. And we've got some Eldritch Horror. What's inside the cabin? It'll blow your mind. Then back here, we've got the Mobile Corn Maze by Kindleless, inspired by Ontario's parades with activity trucks, where they stop the trucks and kids can get on them and do an activity and then get off. So this is a mobile corn maze. Very small to fit in the size of or footprint of a flatbed truck, but very awesome. So thank you very much for sharing that. And then finally, Gaia Eagle has this incredible detailed skull that is molting the velvet, which is the fur that grows on antlers. Very autumnal and spooky. We got some floating candles. This is an incredible field of floats, y'all. As Rebecca said, we had a hard time picking winners. Y'all did a fantastic job, everybody. So we're going to go ahead and we are going to start over here outside of the 200 block. I think they intended originally to make a sign that said zoo, because this is a zoo, but they didn't exactly do the best job with their lettering. So I'm going to switch over to creative mode here. We didn't announce that there would be prizes in advance because I'm bad at thinking things through. But we're going to go ahead and get some blocks of netherite here, which is a high-end build item. You know what? Yeah, there we go. And some nether stars. There we go. So we're going to go ahead. Surprise prizes. Yeah, we're putting the prize in surprise. The third place is the incredible...
Who's it gonna be?
Oh my gosh. You just scared me. Happy Halloween. Oh boy. In third place with this incredible rolling ghost trap. It's got beams that stretch to the sky. It's got a handle. It's got wheels. It's looking great. It's Neo and Kang. Y'all, I love this. Rebecca and I are both big Ghostbusters fans, and we had said, like, this is the one that, like, you see it rolling down the street, you're like, oh my gosh, I gotta get, like, a video with that, or, like, a selfie or something. Like, nobody will believe this.
For sure. It was instantly recognizable. And then also kudos to the team for kind of selling the whole thing. They're dressed as Ghostbusters. They were even, like, kind of like Bill Murray style, like, we're not here for the parade, we're just here to catch some ghosts. Really, really cool build, guys.
Yeah, so I love it. I'm going to go ahead and toss y'all 5 of these. Neo, are you able to pick those up? And another star. So there you go. Kang and Neo, congratulations on third place. I don't know where Kang is right now, so Neo, please share those. There's video evidence. Oh, wait, there's Kang. Kang, yeah, you can split that with Neo later.
You guys can fight amongst yourselves on how you're going to split that up.
Yeah, and you can post the fight on Twitter, and, you know, it'll go great. People love videos like that. It was so hard to pick a winner, indeed, Polly B. We have so many great contestants here. You know, the one that I was like, the Ghostbusters one, instantly recognizable. But you know what? This Miyazaki pumpkin here, I know it wasn't necessarily intended to be a Miyazaki build, but Bear 33 just really captured a whole feeling, a spirit of just whimsy and delight, like the wheels being different sizes, it being like ostensibly pulled by this tiny ghost, even though obviously it's motorized. It's just a solid build all over from every angle. It's gorgeous. And so you did just a fantastic job there. Congratulations on second place. Here is that for you, as well as 10 blocks of netherite, assuming that I can count right. That's 10-ish. Good job. But yeah, this is just an absolutely fantastic build. Rebecca, did you have anything you wanted to add?
Just that, you know, I just love how organic it is. I love that Joe, you kind of nailed it. It's very whimsical. It's thematic, and very impressive. Again, if I saw this float coming down, I would just be like, oh my gosh. And then, of course, you know, utilizing some of the materials in a different way that is always appreciated. And, you know, it's a really great build. Kudos. Amazing.
Yeah, even the undercarriage here is just spectacularly well detailed. Like, Bear, you just knocked it out of the park here. This is
Bear did this by themselves as well. You know, this was just a single person team. So very impressed on what, you know, the scale and the you know, attention to detail. It's gorgeous.
Yeah, and Rebecca and I were talking about how, like, with 2 or 3 people or 5 people, you can build something that's really big, but you don't necessarily always have as clear of an artist's vision. Like, this just feels like Bear had a vision and just set out to execute. So, congratulations again, Bear. This is fantastic. And then there was first.
First place.
What could it be? I'm zooming all the way back to the front of the parade for dramatic effect, probably. Or possibly because first place. Oh no, I'm stuck underneath it. How did I get stuck underneath it? I'm in creative mode instead of spectator mode. Yeah, first place, this spectacular cabin in the woods build by Shawnard and Superstone.
Amazing. It's immediately recognizable. and just the planning that it took to bring all these monsters in, the risking your Minecraft lives for dramatic effect is always appreciated.
Oh yeah, this is just absolutely this is a bold build. You took risks with this. If these mobs had gotten loose, you probably would have been disqualified and in trouble. So, like, y'all, this is Minecraft's chance to be daring, and you seized it. But, you know, it's not just the mob containment either, though. I love the Rubik's cabin. This is incredible. Like, when you were putting it together, I couldn't figure out what it was, but all of a sudden when it's finished, it's so obvious and so recognizable. Just congrats on making something so fantastic. I'm gonna go ahead and y'all get 1 nether star, as well as I'm gonna toss y'all 20 blocks of netherite. Boom. That might have been 21. Now they're old enough to drink. So congratulations to Seanard and Superstone. Superstone, you can claim your prizes from Seanard. You can split those up and fight about them among yourselves. That is a lot of netherite, but this is a lot of work to put into a contest like this.
Tons of work, and just this. I mean, but everybody's builds were amazing and thematic and awesome. I would have loved to have been a little Minecraft man to walk down the street and see these amazing things. Not only just watching you guys build them, but what you guys came up with, and the variety of themes and things that you guys did. I'm super stoked that Joe asked me to come and be here with this, and I feel very privileged and awesome. It's just awesome job, guys.
Well, I'm so appreciative that you were able to make time. Just out of curiosity, is that contest that Jane and Anna are in, is that the Fox Cities pinball one?
It is, yes.
Okay.
And they're doing, I believe there's 1 or 2 tournaments today, and there's a tournament tomorrow as well. So
excellent. So once we wrap up here, we'll go ahead and raid Fox Cities pinball. And when you get there, say howdy y'all, Joe Hills and Hot Nudge raid here, I guess, since we got Rebecca. Is that okay if we use your name in that way, Rebecca?
Of course. Yeah. Please do.
Okay, well...
And if anybody here is interested in pinball, Joe dabbles in pinball. We are a pinball stream, so, we don't build impressive things like this in Minecraft, but we do try and build awesome scores on mechanical machines that exist in the real world. So hop on over to Hot Nudge if you want to check us out.
Yep, I'm posting a link to Hot Nudge. That's Rebecca's channel. Seriously, it's fun. The animations and the artwork that Rebecca does is inspired. There's a reason I invited her here. It's because she's hilarious, she's entertaining and creative, and I think y'all will benefit from checking that stream out. Y'all usually stream in the evenings. Could you go through your times just so people can mark their calendars?
Yeah. We're in Chicago, Illinois, so we stream usually Thursday evenings around 9 p.m. Central, and Sunday afternoons. We call them Hot Nudge Sundays,
which is a great name.
Usually around 5 p.m. Central Time. Not sure if we're going to be able to stream this coming Sunday because most of the team is actually still playing in tournament. But Thursdays and Sundays, check us out.
Awesome. Well, thank you again, Rebecca. Thank you again to everybody on the Patreon server for supporting the show, for doing such an amazing job with your incredible builds. This is so inspiring to get to just see so many creative people get together and just have a fun afternoon together. This is fantastic. So before we go ahead and raid Fox Cities Pinball, any final words, Rebecca?
Again, I just want to say thanks, you guys. Thanks for letting me come in. I've learned so much about this amazing program, and I'm just so impressed by the creativity of everybody here. And Joe, you were super awesome and welcoming, and I'm just so happy to be on your stream, and I had a really good time. Thank you so much for the invite.
I had a great time. Thank you for accepting that invite. We are going to raid Fox Cities Pinball, which is where the other members of Hot Nudge are currently competing in a tournament. They're not on camera right now, but either way, when you get there, say, howdy y'all, Joe Hills and Hot Nudge raid here. And you know what, folks? Keep adventuring. Okay, I just